I would probably say Old Town Road, man. Old Town Road, when it first came out, I said, what is this? But it was like so tight. It was like the best song ever.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Inside the Lines. My guest this week is DJ Williams, the Poetic Rockstar.
That's what it is, yep.
What's going on, man?
Yeah,
Thanks for being on the show.
As always, as always.
So, shaking things up still on the format. So this week we're going to be jumping in and doing a collaboration coloring.
Yep.
So we'll jump in and kind of, if you see one that sticks out to you, just tell me.
Cool.
But we'll just kind of scroll through until we find a cool one.
Oh yeah, that's everything.
This
Bingo,
one?
yeah,
Okay.
everything.
Well, let's jump in, man. So, how long have you been making music, my friend?
I've been making music about 8 years now.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been doing it full time for maybe 3 now. Yeah,
Nice.
Yeah.
So, what point were you able to finally go full time?
I got tired of my job. I got tired
Okay.
of working for other people. That was just like, man, I just gotta just go for it at this point.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So, was it just like you were just working the day job kind of scene?
Yeah, working day job, and I just like, man, I really don't want to do this.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, yeah, let me just try this music thing. It's either gonna work or it's not.
Nice. Well, sometimes that's what you gotta do, man.
Yeah.
So, what's kind of allowing you at this point to be, on your full-time kind of music grind? Are you like making beats and sampling those out, or like?
Well, I've always been a writer.
Mhm.
My main thing has always just been writing music.
Mhm.
I got into production a little bit, but my main thing is just writing. I love the creative side of writing and just telling a story and everything that I do, really.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. And what are some things that like inspire you to tell like certain stories or things like that?
Life experiences. Mainly my topics are just life experiences. Generally poets talk about love stuff, which I love to do, but I like to talk about like real life issues and things that people deal with on a day-to-day basis.
Okay.
Yeah.
What are some topics that you like to tackle?
Like recently, my newest project is called Watch What's Next To, the therapy session.
Okay.
And what I'm talking about is, dealing with your own personal issues and still trying to balance life out and still trying to balance a love relationship. But it's just the things that normal 28-year-olds go through.
Yeah.
yeah. That's my idea.
Do you do a lot of like live performing?
Yeah, that's I love live performing. Like I love the writing part of it, but the moment I can get on stage and touch the actual people, I really gravitate to that more, because the impact that you see on people's faces is an amazing feeling when they can relate to your music and they feel inspired or they can get something out of what you're saying. So I love the performing aspect of it. It's just, you still gotta create the music and you still gotta make the financial, contribution towards everything.
Yeah, exactly. What's some good spots that you've like performed at, or like favorite spots that you've had a show at?
One of my favorite is Howard Theater. That was crazy. Yeah, that was a crazy experience to perform there. One, because it's such iconic space here, and just the vibe there was just really, really dope. And because a lot of my music used to be like very chill and mellow, to be able to perform and see everybody on their feet and still entertain was really, really dope, even in the open space.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I like to travel a lot too, so one of my favorite traveling spots to perform at was probably Vegas.
Oh wow!
Yeah, that was really dope experience too. So.
Was it like at a casino space there? Like,
No. Actually, my homie Brittany, she has a spot down there where she hosts like open mics.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and she invited me out there. Brittany Soul, shout out Brittany Soul. She brought me out there, and we just tore it down, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Because I've been to Vegas. I like Vegas. It's a nice spot. I mean, I don't do the gambling stuff.
Understood.
But it's got a good vibe to it, for sure. So do you hope to be doing like just more national touring? Like what's the difficulties with that, man?
Man, that's actually crazy because we're finishing the project now. The project is getting released October 8th. The first 8 songs is October 8th and the second 8 is November 8th.
Oh, cool.
And then following the release of the project, we're putting together a tour. And putting together tours is probably, by yourself, it's probably the most difficult things for an artist to do.
I can imagine.
Yeah, because there's so many moving parts that you just have to get together and still preparing for whatever could possibly go wrong.
Yeah, like, have you ever had, I'm sure it's happened before, maybe, like, hopefully it hasn't, but, you know, where, like, you think you're lined up for a gig and then maybe the person who's running the place, like, at the last second pulls out or something like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I've toured before, and it was some of the best experiences that I've had to deal with, but it's also some of the most challenging things I've had to deal with as an artist. But yeah, man, people cancel, things don't go right, your mic goes out, or like the lighting is wrong, what you prepared for isn't what's happening. But like you just gotta learn how to adapt, because you know things are just gonna happen. Yeah. So yeah, it's a little interesting.
Have you ever, like, while on tour, like, had something, maybe, like, a gig or something cancel and you end up, like, performing somewhere else, like, kind of random?
Yeah. And I was actually here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we was actually supposed to perform at one spot, and the venue called and said, yeah, we have to move the show.
Oh, man.
And the place that they were going to move it to, we couldn't even get that spot. So we had to move around the tickets and then tell people, hey, the show's not here, it's at another place. Yeah. And then that's another thing, dealing with fans. So,
well, yeah, because I mean, people are putting money out and stuff like that. It's tough, you know, to have to go to them and say, hey, like, I can't do anything about this, but they cancel, you know, I can't do it. So yeah, I can imagine. Because I know personally, like, it was a couple years ago, I remember one time I was at like a house in Baltimore that they had this like heavy metal punk type band, and they were just playing in that person's basement, and it was like one of the coolest concerts I've ever been to, because it was just like a random thing that like somebody was like, I'll just host it at my house or whatever. So like, yeah, I can imagine, like, you know, sometimes it sucks because the coordination part of it is tough, but like once you're in that kind of like different space, I think it can turn out pretty cool.
And it's crazy you mentioned that because that whole idea of, you know, in the basement, I did So Far Sounds a little while back.
Okay, I know So Far Sounds. Yeah.
So that whole vibe is just like really, really dope. Where people are just sitting on the floor, you don't know them from nothing.
Exactly.
And they just vibing with your music. So yeah, that whole idea of just intimacy is really dope to me.
Yeah, I really like that platform because it is that intimate, which is like, for me, you know, I've done festivals and done all the bigger stuff, but like, I love that, like just being able to sit and chill and just like, you know, maybe after the show, like talk with the artist.
Talk to them,
just, exactly, like get to know them and everything. It's really like intimate, and it's a good like way to connect with people. So I think it's really cool. Have you ever had like any stories of like cool like fan moments where like somebody who's into the music maybe came up to you after a show and was like, man, like, and just told you like maybe a crazy life story or something like that?
Yeah, man. So the way I orchestrate my sets, right? When I perform, I always start off with something hype. Then I always do something informative, and then I always end my sets with a message, some type of message song. So actually, where were we? We were on tour and we were in Philly at the time. Okay. And I did my last song, it was called Blessings. And no, it was called Don't Cry. Okay. And a lady came up to me and she literally was telling me her life story about how, you know, often she worries a whole lot. And the song basically talks about how you don't need to worry, you know, at the end of the day, it's gonna work out. And right before she came to the show, she got a call that everything that she was worried about was like cool now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that was like a real big moment for me to just see that, you know, I impacted her and made her feel, you know, secure in whatever she was worried about at the time.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah.
That's,
man.
I mean, that's cool to get to experience that sort of thing.
Right.
And get to see people that you're actually like able to make an impact on and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is what I think it's all about at the end of the day. You know, even people who make, you know, music that I don't agree with, they have a fan base because they're connecting to someone.
Yeah.
You know, someone relates to it at some point of their life. So whether I agree with it or not. So
it's true.
Yeah, that's all artistry is to me.
What's the like the cheesiest song that you could jam to like any day of the week? Like something that they'd be like, man, that song?
Yeah. I would probably say Old Town Road, man. Old Town Road, when it first came out, I said, what is this? But it was like so tight. It was like the best song ever. And next thing I know, everybody's listening to it. And then when you saw who was singing it, you're just like, what?
Yeah, exactly. Because the first time I heard it was, I was at a wedding and they played it, and I was like, what is this? I was like, what? And it was like the same week it dropped. I was like, what the hell is this song?
Yeah.
But then I actually heard, I was at Bonnaroo this year, and it was like this bluegrass type band. Like they did a cover of that song during their set, which is crazy.
That's insane.
Because they were like, you know, a lot of people were saying, you know, that's not country, that's not this, and they were like, well, we're a country band and we're about to play this song, so I think that tells you what it is. And I was like,
yeah,
it's great. Like moments like that though are awesome because it's like this moment of, it could easily one community could say we don't want another community entering into our space, but like when both those communities are making a statement about like, no, this is fine. Right. It's like a wonderful thing. Yeah. And that's what I kind of respect a lot about music is that it's an easy way to like break those lines down. Yeah. Yeah, and then the way that it just crossed over so effortlessly, it's just like, I never rode a horse a day in my life, but like it was the coolest song and it just made you feel good and wanted to dance. And you know, I think that's the wonderful thing about just music in general. It can bring light to the darkest places, even if the song doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So that's just one of my top, like, I don't know what the song is really about, but I love it. It's just popping.
Yeah, I just love it.
So before I forget, what are the ways people can find you on social medias? What's like your work? When's it dropping? All that good stuff. Just let the people know.
Yeah. So you can follow me on all social media at the Poetic Rockstar. My project Watch What's Next 2, The Therapy, is coming out October 8th. The first 8 is coming out October 8th. The second 8 part of the Watch What's Next 2 is coming out November 8th. But we are having a show October 27th. It's called The Therapy Session, and it's going to be the most amazing show ever. You have myself on the lineup. You have Davon Fleming from The Voice. You got Mel, the guitar boy, on the lineup. It's going to be dope, man. We're going to talk about everything as well as you receiving some great music.
And where is that going to be at?
It's going to be at Half Note Lounge in Bowie, Maryland, October 27th at 7:30.
Nice.
Yep.
Cool, man.
Yeah, man. I hope you guys can make it too. It's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, man. That's right before Halloween. So yeah, it's a good time of year, man.
Yeah, it's gonna be dope.
That's awesome. So is that sort of like just like a big, you know, party / kind of album release type thing?
Yep. That's exactly what it is.
Nice.
Yeah, it's gonna be food, drinks there, but it's also gonna be, like I said, it's also gonna be informative. You know, because everybody goes through something, which is why it's called the therapy session. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about real life issues and then we party.
Awesome, man. Well, before we start to wrap up or anything, do you have any kind of last thoughts or things you want to throw out into the universe there?
Things I want to throw out into the universe is definitely I want that lottery. But yeah, I just hope, you know, that everyone watching definitely checks out the Watch What's Next 2, the Therapy Session album. And if you can't make it to October 27th, just come up to me, shake my hand. because I love to meet people. That's October 27th at Half Note Lounge, Watchman next to the therapy session. And October 8th is the release of the project. And follow me on all social media at The Poetic Rockstar.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you coming out on the show,
For sure, man. Appreciate
Before we
you.
totally finish up,
Yep.
I have my gift to you.
Word.
Hold on. It's always in the pocket mixed in with other things. So this Pog I present to you.
Love.
And also this nice pin, this Two Tony Productions pin I present to you, as well as our gift to you.
Dope.
We appreciate your time, man.
For sure.
Don't forget to check out The Poetic Rockstar.
Yep.
And can people find you on like Spotify, like all that good stuff?
The Poetic Rockstar, that's THE, because, you know, kids got a lot
I was going to say, people want to say duh. So yeah, The THE Poetic Rockstar.
Yep.
Find them on social media, and thanks again, man.
No problem. Appreciate you guys.